Lagos-based financial derivatives company limited, financial advisory research firm Think Tank, has hailed the Central Bank of Nigeria's decision to halt FX sales to Bureau de Change. Now, the think tank said the CBN decision had, quote, disrupted one of the juiciest gravy trains in the Nigerian economic racket. However, the Naira did depreciate to about 5.25 to $1 yesterday on the parallel market, lower than the 5.05 to $1 it traded with on Tuesday after the central bank announced its discontinuation of FX sales to BDCs. Joining us to discuss further from our Abuja studio is the Managing Director of Protrade BDC, FCA, Mr. Ayo Balogun. Mr. Balogun, good morning to you, sir. Thanks for joining us. You're welcome. How do you react to that? Is your business, generally speaking, not you specifically, is it generally a racket, or is it the actions of a few that are coloring the rest?
Good morning. Thank you for welcoming me to the program. Actually, there are a few that might have been caught in the business of using their Bureau de Change operations as a conduit for illicit funds, as mentioned by the CBN. And what we think as operators is, once such a thing has been noticed, it will be very important to identify such operators and sanction them. However, that is not what has been done. What has been done is that all operators have been taken off the grid, and everybody is looking up to the direction of the policy and where it's going to lead us to at the moment.
Okay, we've seen the parallel market rates climb to 5.25. Why did that happen? Is that speculation? Are there any other implications on this policy for the financial sector in your view?
Okay, so basically the spike in the rate is as a result of speculation. The news came out to the BDC operators just the same it came out to every citizen of the country. We were not told about it. It just came out from the blues. And what's happened in effect, the resultant effect of that is everybody became speculative. We're not sure the direction of the policy and what it's going to lead to. I even heard in some places it went as high as 600 yesterday. Some places 550. It's not being regulated at the moment, and everybody is just scared and not really sure what direction to follow.
Okay, so financial derivatives said swapping the BDCs for the banks won't change much. What are the foreseeable challenges with the commercial banks handling this retail sales to the end users, in your view?
Before this policy came up, if you go to a bank normally to get PTA, BTA, medical allowance, the normal Form M that we fill to make payment for importation, it takes a time. It takes quite a while for those processes to get approved. And for you, the ordinary BTA, PTA that you get $4,000, $5,000 takes days. And sometimes you even go to the bank and the bank is telling you that they don't have enough to give you $4,000. Now, the question is, now that the authority or the power, if I might put, it's been taken away from the BDCs and it's been placed solely on the bank, is the bank equipped enough to meet the demand of the teaming clientele in Nigeria? Can they really say that if they have a queue of about 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 100 people in a day to each bank that I'm trying to say, can they really say that they will be able to meet these demands based on what CBN is saying? Are there things that are going to change at the background that is not yet known to us on what the CBN is planning to do with the banks? From what we know now, it is hard. It is hard for the banks to meet the demand of the teaming clientele. And we just hope that the resultant effect of the policy will not lead to more scarcity, thereby causing the Naira to weaken against the dollar the more.
All right, thank you so much for that. All right, so here's a solution that was put forward by FDC. They said a 10 Naira difference between the parallel market rates and the rates sold to the banks. So, for instance, okay, assuming let's use 5.25 right now. So you would sell it at 5.15 to the retail banks, who would then sell them to end users by, which is an adjustment. By raising the price, you kind of quell demand. If the price moves to 5.50, then what FDC is saying, you then move it up. That is the a price at which you sell to the banks to 5.40 and maintain that 10 Naira difference. That's just a solution that's been put out there. What do you think? Do you have any other solutions to address this?
Oh, well, I wouldn't question the solution they've put up, but it's more speculative than the way I think the forces of demand and supply work in the market. What CBN one addition that I can put to that, if that is going to work, is this. If CBN can find a way in which this FX is being auctioned, something like this used to be done in the past. Okay, if the FX is being auctioned and the BDCs are made to even bid for it, not that there is a fixed price at which we are going to bid, but there is a limit. There is a limit to which you can bid. That is the quantity of FX you can bid. Also, there is a limit to the price. You can't go above a certain price. And let's see what happens. They might now put a cap on it based on what the FDC has said, has suggested, but it creates a more competitive nature such that the gap between what is being the official rate and what CBN is seeing in the parallel market, that the CBN is not at a loss over the FX they are releasing to BDCs. They are getting more for what they are getting at the moment.
All right. And as far as the Association of Bureau de Change Operators is concerned, the intervention in the markets, I guess, over the last few years, how would you, I mean, you're in there, but how would you describe it compared to what the narrative is in society right now?
One thing I can tell you for free is the way the BDC, the parallel market, operates is this. It's solely based on the forces of demand and supply. Most people out there on the streets, they think, okay, good, BDCs just put a certain rate, and then they wake up the next morning and they say, today we just want the rate to be 600. And then everybody agrees that the rate is 600. No, it doesn't work like that. If, for example, you push some money into the market now and you need BDCs to purchase from you, if there's an inflow of supply, automatically it drops the rate in the market. If there is a high demand in the market and there is not enough supply to take care of the demand, then there is more pressure over what is available. Automatically, it raises the rate that FX is being sold for. So it's not just straight jacket saying BDCs are the ones that are causing an issue in Nigeria and making things making the naira to weaken against the dollar. No, it doesn't just work like that. Over the years, BDCs, through the leadership of their association, that is APCON, are tried as much as possible to follow the directive of CBN as it is being laid to them. They work hand in hand. There is a directive that has to be followed, and the association wields so much power, so much so that BDCs are enforced. They are under regulation, they are under supervision to make sure that those directives are being followed. However, there are times that things go out of hand. If the market at the moment demands that the supply is not enough to take care of the demand, then somehow economic forces will take place and rates are being affected automatically.
Ayo Balogun, Managing Director, Protrade BDC Limited. Thank you so much for joining us. We do appreciate your insights. I'll have to see how things play out over the coming weeks. Thank you so much.